All right, it is time for our weekly Rants and Raves. I'm going to start with Dan Kennedy.
I have a rave for the whistleblower or whistleblowers who came to Glenn Greenwald at The Guardian and at the Washington Post and have revealed the extent of the surveillance that's going on of the traffic and phone calls, emails, and everything. It's massive. It takes in millions of people, maybe the whole country, as it seems to be coming out. It is going to prompt a long overdue debate on the balance between safety and freedom in this country. And this person has taken one heck of a risk given the obsession that the Obama administration has showed with pursuing leakers.
All right, John.
Late last Thursday, the New York Times posted online an editorial absolutely shredding the Obama administration for its handling in general of transparency and privacy issues, specifically in the context of the NSA surveillance. And they had a line in there that said this president has, quote, lost all credibility. Well, various right-wing bloggers and pundits jumped on that, as now the New York Times has said this administration's lost all credibility. So they had to add to the print version of the editorial a line saying, all credibility on these issues. Now, to me, it was clear in the original editorial. And it should have been clear to any fair-minded person. But on the web, on the left and right, there are plenty of non-fair-minded people looking to pounce on anything in order to turn it into something it isn't. And so they were criticizing the Times for adding the verbiage. I have a rave for them for doing it. They had to. You've got to be clear about what you mean, or you'll be completely distorted by the cranks out there.
All right. Marjorie.
Well, Emily, shortly after WGBH hired Jim Browdy and me to do a radio show here, they put up a billboard of us on 93, and Jim and I spent hours and hours driving back and forth up in 93, admiring this billboard. We made it to the big time, we got a billboard. Then we come in to work here, WGBH, a few days ago, and what do we see right outside our window where our desks are? This huge billboard, I think we have a picture of it there, for WBUR, advertising WBUR. And we thought, what is this, like a little tit for tat? We thought it was a little juvenile. So my colleagues, it says the more I listen, the more I have to say. My colleagues made another billboard that says, the more I listen to BUR, the more I want 89.7 WGBH. So
we're going to put that one up.
Yeah, that's right. I feel very good about this now, and I think the bottom line is BUR is nervous, as well they should be, about WGBH.
Well, but our boss is mad.
This reminds me of the scene from the movie Anchorman, where the various news stations fight it out to the death, except it's an all-public broadcasting battle to the death.
It's so undignified. All right, Callie.
This is a quirky story that I just love. So, as you know, the BBC is public media in London, and there's something called the BBC Trust that sort of takes a look at issues for the BBC itself. A customer wrote in and said, you know, that clock that you have on your website is factually inaccurate, and you say everything on your page is accurate. Well, it can't be, because it's tied to when your computer is on and off. So that means that's an analog clock that's factually inaccurate. You should find another source of a clock that is always accurate. So I just find this fascinating. So they took that under consideration, said, that's a point. We can't change it right away, but we are going to change it so that the next time that the clock is up, it will be factually accurate.
I can't believe it's in Roman numerals either.
Well, but whatever.
It's the BBC.
But it's always happy hour.
They used to call the British a nation of shopkeepers. You have to say timekeepers as well.
There you go.
All right. I have a rant for TBS, Turner Broadcasting, for hiring Keith Olbermann to do post-game baseball. I know you gave MSNBC a rant last week for not rehiring him, but I like Keith Olbermann. Actually, he's a friend. I hired him at Channel 5, but he is unemployable. I mean, this guy.
Wow.
I know, and it won't work out. And I feel really badly for Dennis Eckersley, who's going to be sitting next to him. And these people need to look at the track record. Why has he left or been fired from virtually every news organization going back 15, 20 years that he's ever worked for, or he's walked out in a storm or had a hissy fit? It doesn't work.
So. The guy's a huge talent.
It is huge.
I'm glad I don't have to work with him.
Maybe he's changed.
No. How does it go about a leopard? No. Anyway, good luck to them. All right, and that is it for Beat the Press. Tell us what you think of reporters knocking on victims' doors, or Keith Olbermann for that part. Weigh in at beatthepress.org. Now, here's Jared Bowen with a look at what's coming up next week.
Coming up on Greater Boston, I'm at LaSalle College, which has a very extensive fashion archive. We'll take you through decades of style, including this. You probably remember, Emily. It's your prom dress from the late 1800s.
You know I do control your destiny, Jared. All right, that's all next week on Greater Boston. For all of us, I'm Emily Rooney. Thanks for watching.